Is it working? Oh, it's working. Okay. Oh, I'm super excited. Okay. Hey guys, Lola Selena here. I also go by Island Turtle. Welcome to BOMISpirit. Don't mind the chaos that is behind me. A lot of you guys know I'm in the process of moving. So excuse me. I just wanted to hop on here really quickly. I don't have a lot of time. Fola! Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been forever. How are you doing? Hi, Lynn, Michelle. Hey guys. I also there's been a lot going on with my throat and my asthma today, so bear with me as we get through this. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hey. So a little impromptu live. A lot of my patrons, we've talked about October 13th already. So apparently it's taken a long time. Okay, there we go. It said like one person for like ever was in here, and I'm like, okay, we clearly got one more than one person. Anyway, so I'm super excited because a lot of you guys, first of all, a lot of you guys know I haven't been able to go live on my desktop for like months. And I just was like, let me just try it. Ta-da! So embracing that. Let me get a piece of paper here for some timestamps. So I want to talk about October 13th because it's a crazy day. It is a crazy day, astrologically speaking. Not it doesn't have to be bad. I want to make that very, very clear. By the way, we have a Patreon website. Check it out. Um, well, this may be a little bit of a rough live, but we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. So I want to talk about October 13th and have a special live just for October 13th because we have so much astrology going down that is impacting. I mean, the astrology impacts everybody every day, technically, but some really intense astrology that is setting a lot of us up for some really, really cool experiences and unfoldments, I want to say, for months to come. A lot of you, if you have been around for a while, especially if you're part of the Rainbow Tribe, if you're part of Patreon, a lot of you know I've been speaking about how important this 2 week period is, which next week will be the second week of the 2 week period for sacred bonds and partnerships, and how that's going to affect certain situations and opportunities that may be able to play out for you, including personal evolution and upliftment and progression and growth and all that beautiful stuff, leading up to the winter solstice. Excuse me. And that energy is still very much at play. But before I even get into the astrology, let me give this little overview about tomorrow. Okay. And I am watching the clock because I got a lot going on today. So I can only, hi, buddy. We have the Clydester here. Can only be on here for like 40 minutes or so. Excuse me. So for the overview, tomorrow, for a lot of people, it's like the volume is getting turned way up in terms of emotions, in terms of your intuition getting sharper, in terms of it getting louder. Buddy, he's feeling a lot right now. Um, Emotions getting turned up, intuition also very sharp, and also getting a lot of information psychically. Um, there may also just feel like there's a lot of momentum happening on the 13th of October. There's a lot of reasons as to why that is. Some of the other things that may get turned up may also be some personal little like insecurities and fears and things. We're definitely in this period, this window that's a kind of a prolonged window because of Jupiter square Chiron that is turning up the volume on these things, but allowing us to see that for what it is. And like in those moments of like, I want to do this, or I want to say this, or I want to go here, but oh, I don't know. It's like it's pushing everybody out of their box. It's pushing everybody out of their own self-limiting things, the limits you place on yourself, how you play small, or how you stay in your box, how you stay in your comfort zone. It's helping with all of that. But October 13th, everything's going to be very loud. Everything's going to be very, how do I want to say? We're just going to have a stronger sensitivity to all of what's happening within us and all of what's happening around us. And one level of that is some of this Jupiter Chiron energy. We also have a lot going on with relationships and sacred bonds, that we'll get some interesting things moving in unexpected directions. That is very much about the 13th. Some of this may have to do more with money than with anything else, but relationships at the core of that. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the astrology. Man, time goes really fast, doesn't it? I don't know how people have such short videos. Anyway, so the astrology of the 13th. The first thing that we have Pluto going direct in Aquarius, which will actually be creating a grand air trine between Pluto, Venus, which will be moving into Libra on the 13th as well. So there will be a grand air trine with now Pluto in direct in Aquarius, Venus now in Libra, with Uranus in Gemini, which has been there. We will have this grand water trine that will be with us all the way through the end of November with Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces, and Lilith in Scorpio. We've been having that, but that's just here as well. We also have the quarter moon in Cancer happening on the 13th, which will be conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, part of this Jupiter square Chiron energy. The other thing about that, though, is since it's a quarter moon, right, the sun will be square the moon, which means the sun will be square Jupiter and opposing Chiron. So, in short, the astrological forecast of the 13th, a grand air trine as Pluto goes direct and as Venus goes into Libra, grand water trine with Jupiter, Saturn, and Lilith, the quarter moon in Cancer, which will be creating a T square with the sun, Chiron, and its conjunction with Jupiter. So it'll be amplifying that square with Jupiter and Chiron. There will also be a mystic rectangle that is created on the 13th. As Venus moves into Libra, it will go sextile with Juno. And in doing so, both of those planets will be working with Uranus in Gemini and Neptune in Aries. Now, remember what I said to you about Venus, though. Venus will also be part of a grand air trine with Pluto. And if you've been following me for a long time, you know I've been talking a lot about this dance between Pluto and Neptune and Uranus. So, needless to say, that's a lot of astrology. And if you're new to astrology, don't worry about digesting that. I'm just giving you the information. Okay. So, some things that might get really, 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 really loud on the 13th as it pertains to the quarter moon, definitely heightened emotions, definitely heightened intuition, a heightened desire for emotional nourishment and security, a really fulfilling domestic situation as well, including relationships, of course. Jupiter is so benefic that I do think the T square will be not as intense as it normally would, but it's still going to make some of this Chiron energy really loud, but it's also going to amplify Jupiter as well. So if there's like things that you have been feeling, that little nudge, that little inkling, that little like, I want to try this, I want to do this, I want to have this conversation, whatever it may be. And then you're like, oh, I don't know. Just try. Just do it. You'll be happy you did it, because if your intuition's saying to do it and your heart is saying to do it, it most likely is very much in alignment for you. Okay. And it may lead to some very unexpected, one, healings, but also unexpected growth, unexpected breaking your own limitations, breaking out of your own box, like I said before. Okay. The other thing to mention about that, try not to overindulge too much on the 13th or overspend. Jupiter squaring the sun, especially in like Libra, the sun in Libra, and I don't even say Jupiter in Cancer. There may be a tendency to fall into some really, really old coping mechanisms or vices or addictions, like things that make you feel secure and safe, or things that just make you feel really, really good, like in the realm of pleasure and intoxication. Hi, buddy. So be mindful about that. But at the same time, if those things come up, they may also be highlighting to you, like some of the ways you have been, buddy, some of the ways you have been limiting yourself by way of these coping mechanisms and why you do them at all. Sorry, I just got to keep my eyes on things here. Um, sorry, I'm just watching the cat. Now, the mystic rectangle. The mystic rectangle. Mystic rectangles are interesting. I'm not going to get too in depth into the mechanics of that. I did on Patreon. I feel like I actually did before here on YouTube at some point. Um, but the mystic rectangle, what's interesting here is that we have some hardcore relationship energy between Venus and Juno, and then we have Neptune and Uranus that are playing in this mystic buddy. Oh, he cannot sit still. He can't sit still lately because he knows all the things that are going on. And he's not happy about it. He's pacing. He's pacing so hardcore. Um, sorry for this distraction. Coming back, the challenges that will come up with the mystic rectangle. Don't worry about how challenging these challenges may be, because mystic rectangles are all about providing harmony anyway. It's about harmonizing the challenges. So some challenges that may emerge for some people, independence versus partnership, independence versus, uh hold on, he finally laid down. Independence versus honoring obligations in certain connections, okay? That's gonna be one challenge here. Another oh, sorry, he messed with my mouse, and closed the window, but we're here. Another challenge may be, um, actually getting a little too lost in Neptune. Neptune is no longer being grounded by Saturn. What I mean by that is Saturn is starting to move out of its conjunction with Neptune, and it's moving further and further away. They're gonna join forces again, down the line, probably more in, like, February, March time. Actually, maybe in a little bit in January, but neither here nor there. So while Saturn is no longer grounding Neptune, Neptune is getting a little bit more loud again in its ability to inspire, in its dreamy like quality, in its desire for sentimentality, creativity, all of that very non-physical, emotional kind of things, right? So especially in terms of relationships and with the quarter moon in Cancer on the same day, there just may be a lot that comes up within you that is either sexually charged, okay? Pluto being part of the grand air trine is part of that too. We'll come back to that. That may be very sexually charged, maybe very fantasy-like. It could even just be very hopeful or very dreamy or very like excitable and very like, ooh, like if only this could play out, right? And you may even feel very confident in some of these things because Jupiter is in Cancer conjunct this quarter moon. Okay. I'm not saying to not follow those things. I'm saying to pace yourself and to be grounded as much as you can in some of the loud fantasies that come up or some of the loud arousals and loud emotions and loud thoughts, pervasive thoughts that come up in the realm of what you desire or what you fantasize about, what you crave. Okay, especially in terms of relationships, especially if you're dealing with certain connections where there already is some tension around the topic of independence versus interdependence or even codependency, right? Um, just tuning into that for a second. Sorry. Something that will be a saving grace for Monday for the 13th, and something that will help across the board is embracing the unexpected, embracing the different, embracing getting out of your comfort zone, embracing trying new things, especially in the realm of relationships. Like talking to people you don't normally speak to. In your current relationships, maybe doing something you don't normally do with that person, or talking about things you don't normally talk about, or even if it's like a sexual relationship, like exploring in the bedroom, in ways that you haven't before. All of that will help to continue to break your own limitations, but help other people do the same and allow for some of this unexpected, intense, loud energy to find some new avenues that could lead to some really, really pleasant, unexpected things as well. Okay. Excuse me. Now, the Grand Air Trine, this is really unique because it's really, really short-lived. And again, it is starting. Actually, I would say it's technically happening already, but Pluto going direct on the day that Venus actually moves into Libra. This is all in tropic, by the way. Creating this, like, part of this Grand Air Trine. I feel like we're gonna feel the kick of it, so to speak, on the 13th, even though it's technically already happening, right? So between Uranus and Venus and Pluto, obviously this will affect relationships because Venus is also part of this, but this can also affect money big time. Okay. I would even say creativity and ambition with Pluto being in the mix as well. And also given that it's in air signs like Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. So take it as you will. Sorry, guys. Hold on. All right, this is the pace I'm at these days, at least this week. So that being said, in terms of relationships, when Pluto and Venus get into bed together, in a trine especially, that also amplifies things. Trines amplify positive energy. They're amplifiers, okay? So Venus and Pluto going into a trine like this in this way while Pluto is going direct, which means Pluto is actually going to, how do I want to say this? Pluto, the way Pluto works, Pluto likes to dig deep, internalize, and then to expel. It likes to dig deep into things to extract or transmute or get into the like density, the hidden things, the secret things, the distorted things, expel them, transmute them, exalt them to the light. So as Pluto's going direct, that aspect of Pluto of let's bring this to light, let's push this out, let's get this open, let's rise. That's what's happening with Pluto. So as this is dancing with Venus, the intense desire for passion, the intense desire for sexual intimacy, physical intimacy, is going to be very loud. And also there's going to be this clearing, I actually want to say. And this could be by way of communication. This could be by way of just energetic clearing of self in terms of things that have happened within relationships. Um, I mean, I'm really feeling truth, so because it is also air energy. Um, because it is also air energy. Because it is also air energy. That just wanted to be said a few times. Um, so don't be surprised if in your relationships that there is this unexpected bringing something to light that maybe has been kind of in the background or hasn't been discussed or hasn't been talked about, especially when it comes to sexual energy, passionate energy, intimacy, connection, um, even spiritual matters. Pluto also likes authenticity, especially being an Aquarius. And so that will be a huge theme as well with relationships. Now, the way Uranus is playing a role into this, Uranus also likes change. Uranus also likes to shake things up. Uranus can be unexpected, can be relatively volatile. When Uranus is working with Venus, it usually brings about very unconventional relationships or wanting to bring more new, refreshed, exciting, different energy to relationships. Whether you're meeting people in unconventional ways or you're dealing with people that you've never dealt with before, people from different backgrounds, that kind of thing. And if you're in a relationship, it's really just about shaking things up and spicing things up. But again, in the realm of air signs, communication is a huge part of this. Communication is a huge part of this, including how you view yourself and relationships or even that particular relationship. And that was something that was coming up a lot on Patreon when we were talking about all this energy for this upcoming week, but especially around the 13th, that it almost feels like the picture that's painted of relationships right now or a particular relationship is getting completely repainted. Um, or almost like it's getting recalibrated, reconfigured, reshaped is how it feels with relationships. And so this reshaping is going to be more likely to occur around the 13th because of this grand air trine. Okay. And again, embracing the different, the uncomfortable, the unconventional will be the best thing you can do right now for yourself and all for all of your relationships and anything that you're doing in terms of like money and all of that too. Okay. Again, it's going to get you out of your comfort zone and it's going to lead to some very unexpected, pleasant surprises down the line. I was kind of equating it to like the Halloween candy bowl because that's just how it was coming through for me as I was over on Patreon. Like Monday, we have this empty bowl and it's like all this candy's being poured in, all this energy is coming up, all the emotions, all the thoughts, all the fantasies. It's like all of the potential is filling the bowl. And the rest of the week is like grabbing all the candies that you actually want, is how it's feeling. So unexpected, intense, fast moving, and a little unknown factor there, but you're still going to end up with some candy. But if you want the best candy, just be open to different. Be open to things that you would never have expected or that you've never tried before. Okay. Is there anything else I want to say about the 13th? I feel like that actually really covers a lot of it. Again, the grand water trine we've had for quite a bit. So like I don't feel the need to really speak about it there. What time is it? Oh, I went through that faster than I thought I would. Good, because I wanted time to just do a quick little read here for the YouTube community. On Patreon, I read for my patrons. Over here, I read for the collective. So the messages are, I want to say actually more broad over here and a little bit more specific and niche over on Patreon. Just to kind of give a little explanation here for anybody who's new. Just looking at the timestamps. Yeah, let's do a quick reading and then I'm going to hop off because I can't hang out as long as I want to. For the 13th. Let's see. For the 13th of October, doing a bit of a just collective read here. That was so quick. The bridge. Not surprised that that's happening. In this 2-week period outside of today, we are also still in this period of deepening specific bonds and getting a little bit more intimate, getting a little bit more, well, going deeper in the river, I think is a good way to say that. Bridge coming out is how it sounds. It's establishing connection or fortifying connection. And like I said too, on the 13th, there is a lot of fast moving energy, a lot of amplified emotions and thoughts and fantasies and what have you, including around communication. Whether you're meeting new people or you're dealing with people you already know, there's definitely connection is at the core of it. Okay. Connection is at the core of it, even if you're connecting unexpectedly or you're fortifying unexpectedly. And it is definitely on the heels of going where you haven't gone before within a specific connection or connections in general. And again, you may already be feeling this today because I mean, it's literally tomorrow, right? This is the 12th. At least here in the States, it's the 12th. Anything else for the collective here regarding October 13th? I'm getting the number 7. 7s can be significant. Oh, I can't even hold on to the cards. The kiss. So that's really lovely. And I think also speaks to the rarity of the astrology that we have on the 13th, because the kiss is like, to me, it's a catalytic energy, but it also speaks to very special, rare, once in a blue moon moments in time. Right. But for me as a reader, this card usually gives me a catalytic energy, and the 13th is absolutely bringing that. Um, as long as we keep engaging with this energy and saying yes and trying these different things. And again, things that we haven't attempted to entertain before or going where we haven't gone before. Um, yeah, activating the creation of a bridge with you and other people, or even fortifying the bridges that are already there in unexpected ways. It's definitely a special window to initiate very specific conversations that maybe you've been waiting a long time to initiate. And it doesn't have to be strictly romantic. I want to make that very clear. When I'm speaking to these sacred bonds, it's like they are they are connections where you're showing up with another person with a shared, like, on the same page of like, this is why we're showing up in this connection. And they can be work related, they can be friends, they could be family, they could be lovers, obviously. But there's usually some sort of reciprocal, like you're both getting something out of it that is spiritual on a certain level, or at least pertains to growth or purpose on some level. Okay. Or fulfillment. I'll just throw fulfillment in there. What about another card, please, for the collective for the 13th? Mm. Wow. So we have the self and we have prayer. They're bringing me to Juno with this. Um, Self is self, that's pretty self-explanatory. Prayer. Prayer is really honing in on that spiritual kind of connotation of some of these sacred bonds. And I also want to say too, the 13th doesn't have to just be about sacred bonds, but it will definitely affect people who are in sacred bonds. Prayer can also be a bit of a wishing energy as well, kind of like how we are connected to the divine and what that relationship is like, how we communicate with the divine or even our own soul, our own spirit. I'm really getting just being soul led, spirit led into these situations here. But they're highlighting Juno and Sagittarius. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, I can't hang on. I can't be on here too much longer. They are highlighting Juno and Sagittarius. This is part of the mystic rectangle I was referring to. Juno and Sag is I'm with this coming out, I'm getting a very strong self-explorative energy. Exploring the self, learning about the self, but by way of these situations and by way of certain connections and certain conversations. But some of you may experience a little bit of friction, okay? Which doesn't have to stay only on the 13th. It can come up later as a result of what emerges into your awareness on the 13th. By the way, if I'm speaking too fast for you, it's just something I'm sensing in the field. If I'm speaking too fast for you, this will be posted after the fact, and you can listen to this kind of like how you would an audiobook. I've just heard from a lot of people that that's how they actually digest everything I'm saying more clearly if they listen to this in more of a audio format. Anyway, um the expansion of the self, okay? The expansion of the self is being highlighted. So some friction that you may experience on the 13th or in these certain situations is choosing you versus others, choosing you versus certain connections. And where the line is there, interesting. Where the line is there, where the boundary is there. Some of you guys may be pertaining to some old stuff that is also very loud in your own psyche about trust and boundaries. And I'm also hearing control. Take that as you will. These are just things that I'm hearing right now. But some of these situations, and particularly these connections, will actually help you in your exploration of self and getting to know yourself and in your own personal growth and development. And you've actually wished for it. You've actually wanted it. We do have the one. Oh, sorry. Don't know why I held it that way. We do have the one on the bottom, which I feel like is also emphasizing that, like that experience of wholeness. One final card, and then I may pull from one other deck, and then I must go. Did I do a timestamp for this? I did. Cool. That's way too many. Just one spirit. Thank you. A look at the stars. Mentioning that anyone can also slow down the playback speed. One more for the collective. Very nice. We have the seed. Oh, I like that. So yeah, some of you, there may be some new connections coming about on the 13th and even new ideas. Because while I'm emphasizing connections, this is also an amplification of your emotions, your thoughts, and your intuitive hits and downloads. Okay. Again, allow yourself to get out of your comfort zone and go where you haven't gone before. Do what you haven't done before, that your soul is like, we need this now, even if it makes us feel uncomfortable. You may also find that once you do and you take that step, that it actually may be a lot easier than you initially thought, and then you may feel a lot of enjoyment for that. But I feel like there are certain seeds that are being gifted and received around the 13th is what I'm getting with this. Whether they are connections themselves, whether they're inspired ideas, or whether it's just this new little blimp of inspiration that you're getting for yourself of like, "Oh, I am gonna go and do that," and you're gonna push yourself past your discomfort to do it. Ace of Pentacles is what I'm hearing. The Ace of Pentacles are coming in. The Ace of Pentacles ideas, opportunities, relationships, situations are dropping in, landing in on the 13th, however that comes up for you. Yeah, let's get some tarot out here. Okay. Oh, from Western Australia. Hello. Hey, CJ. I'm glad I made it. We are the Rainbow Tribe. Hi, it's good to see you. And I have 2 sessions left. You know who you are. I have every intention of doing them today because the next few days it's about getting out and, moving out. So, I mentioned this on Patreon yesterday, but also for anybody else who's interested, I will be doing the new moon live in Libra. Excuse me, on Patreon on the 16th, and most likely doing the Patreon weekly on the 17th. We'll see how that goes. Just because everything going on right now. But let's stay focused on the 13th for the collective. Getting something about Pokemon. It's like so bizarre. It's so random. Maybe you're bonding with someone over Pokemon. Maybe that's like a pastime for you. What's that one? They're showing me one and I'm like, what's that name? Squirtle? I think that was one. Like there's I like the turtle one. I think that was Squirtle. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Pokemon is coming up. It's giving me like bonding over play, bonding over games. Maybe some of you identify as a Squirtle energy. I don't know. It's just kind of funny. It is giving me inner child vibes. Just fun and play and not being so serious. Any messages or insights for the collective for October 13th? Yeah, I'm getting like childlike energy. I just got a Tarzan reference. Okay. Okay. Yeah, don't be afraid to be curious. Lead with curiosity. That feels like the Grand Air trying to work. Lead with curiosity. Interesting. 2 of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Do I do it? Do I not do it? Do I do it? Do I not do it? Do I do it? Do I not do it? I mean, use your discernment. I'm not telling you what to do. But like I said, with the energy that we got going on the 13th, it's all about really listening to like what your heart and your soul and your intuition are saying. We want this. We want this. We want that. That's what you want to listen to. If your nervous system starts to go, that's Chiron. Okay. That's Chiron at work. And I promise you, if you're getting all the yeses in that way, your intuition, your heart, your soul, even I would say your sacral, right? Your source or your solar, like your source of passion, like primal energy. A lot of primal energy this week, by the way, more towards the end. But anyway, um, that is your system saying yes. And I'm telling you, with Jupiter and Cancer in this whole T square situation, if you take that step and you start to feel immediate ease, that's also just further confirmation that it is absolutely for you. Okay. Um, so this is the weighing back and forth. Do I do it? Do I not? Do I say it? Do I not? But you clearly want to. Knight of Wands is a hard yes. Like this is clearly like I desire this, right? Anything else for the collective? Anything else for the collective for the 13th? Oh, Lord have mercy. 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups can be like sitting with your emotions. It can also be like numbing out. It can be depression. It could be apathy. It could be weighing out the pros and cons of a opportunity, but it's about the Ace of Cups there. So this is also hitting home on the like not hitting home, excuse me, let me rephrase that. This is also highlighting that some of what you're feeling on the 13th is being again intensified. Things that you've already been aware of, things you've already been feeling, things you've already been thinking about, things you've already been contemplating, things you've already been sitting on, and the volume gets louder. The impulse gets louder, the drive gets louder, and then you're like, "Oh shit, do I do it? Is this the time? Is this the moment?" So again, it's really just highlighting the intensity of everything, the volume going up on everything internally on the 13th. Can I get clarification on the 4 of Cups? Yeah, 4 of Cups and the Hangman. Some of you, these are things that you've been feeling really, really stuck about. I almost want to say for some of you, even flat out avoiding because it has brought so much discomfort for you. But that discomfort? Discomfort, it's giving me like a 5 of Wands energy, like a little bit of battling the self, like battling what your heart is saying versus like, well, what your system is saying about if that's safe or smart to do. Also why the Knight of Wands is being highlighted here in terms of like what's getting loud about it is your passion and desire for these things that you have been feeling inner conflict about or feeling delayed about. If you got to work through some emotion, do it. That is coming through. Like some of you, it may be like just your system screaming, we're not safe. We're not safe to do this. I'm not capable to do this. That's very Chiron Aries, especially working off of Cancer, right? That brings up questions of safety and confidence and capability. Trust, right? Trust coming up again there. So if you need to work through some emotions and cry some shit out, talk to your inner child about like, if you need to work with your inner child or get into the root of like why your system is so flared in this kind of way, then do it. Tell me about the Knight of Wands. I feel like that one's going to be really clear. Tell me about the Knight of Wands for the collective, please. Yeah. Look at that. Heart and spirit right there. wanting to go, wanting that action, wanting to pursue that thing, whatever that thing is for you. The Knight of Cups is Pisces, Knight of Wands is Sag, but the Knight of Cups leads with the heart and intuition. Knight of Wands leads with their fire, with their passion. Dare I even say their sacral and their solar plexus. And wands also represent fire, which is also spirit in terms of elemental energies in tarot. So we literally have spirit and the heart within us going, yes, I want that, and pursuing that. It's a choice at the end of the day. Speaking of, let's look at the Two of Pentacles for the collective on the 13th. A lot of blue just came in. I don't know, it almost made me uncomfortable. Like I feel like I got kind of smacked with it. A lot of blue energy. Some of you guys can be drawn to the color blue at this time. Blue may be helpful in terms of calm. Okay. Calm and clarity, right? That's like the throat, that's the third eye. I'm getting it's more about clarity than anything. Yeah, I'm getting it's more about clarity than anything. Tell me about the Two of Pentacles. I did feel smacked with it though. Um, mm. Tell me about the Two of Pentacles for October 13th for the collective. Hmm. Oh. Oh, we got an Empress energy. I'm feeling a lot of things there. We'll get into it. I want one more. One more on the Two of Pentacles with the Empress. Yeah, amazing. That's what I thought. Two of Pentacles with the Empress and the Ten of Cups. So again, allowing yourself permission to follow your yes of your heart, the yes of your soul, the yes of your intuition, the yes of your primal instincts, the yes of what your gut is telling you, all of these things, despite what your ego and nervous system are screaming at you, is leading to the Empress and the Ten of Cups. Okay. Whether that's immediate or long term. And I say that because I already know we are an energy that is setting us up for things that will play out up through the winter solstice, right? So if you don't get an immediate, ooh, Ten of Cups Empress result, I think is a good word for that, that could still play out in months to come. But this is about getting yourself on the path to that. Okay. Ten of Cups with Empress for some people, especially with the Knights being here, obviously this can be about romantic pursuit, and for some people it absolutely is, but it's not just about that. Empress is also prosperous, she's fertile, she's well taken care of, she's very abundant, she sits very pretty, right? She's also highly creative, she births things all the time. She basically touches gold. Touches things and turns to gold is what I meant to say. Male or female doesn't matter, but Ten of Cups is also this kind of pinnacle of happiness, right? It's sometimes it has to do with family and being in this kind of just happy bliss state with other people. But Ten of Cups is like you wake up and you're happy. You shower and you're happy. You go to work and you're happy. You eat dinner, you go to sleep and you're happy, right? It's just the emotional experience of a very fulfilled life, including everything that's in that life, including other people. Okay. So that's the power of the 13th. I do have to go. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I really gotta go. But I think I gave you guys a lot for the 13th. It just was trying so hard to come out of me. I was, like, trying to find the right time to, you know, squeeze this in, and I feel like I did it. So, I'm gonna go, but take care. Have a great 13th, a great rest of your weekend, unless it's already Monday for you, and I wish you luck on the 13th, and if you're curious about what happens for the rest of the week, I went into the deep dive of that over on Patreon, all the astrology, the couple card readings we did, and yeah, now you're well prepared. So good luck. And I will see you guys later, okay? Bye. See ya. I can find my mouse. There we go.